Now, business owners, the one who started the home-based business or the one who has the brick and mortar, more business owners are looking for funding. Now, if you have a system in place with a blueprint that you can go by, which is an option, you can get funding. There's funding out there for you. And we made this process super simple where you can schedule a consultation and get funding for your business. And being part of our system, our program, you're actually able to get that funding. No credit check. This is all on your EIN. There's no turning you down. You're ready to get the funding and put it to work. We share with you the blueprint we have, but you can do as you want. You have a business already. You can use it for whatever equipment you may need or marketing, or use the blueprint that we have in place. A great day, another opportunity. Super excited to be here this morning, this evening. Late night. I'm not sure where you're going to be seeing this information from, but I want to welcome everyone to A Rich Education with Demi Sonia. I want to dive right into this information, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, brothers and sisters, because it's time to secure your future. Even with all that's taking place, you can still do this. But the number one and first thing you're going to have to do, you're going to have to be willing to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. Putting in for the number one asset, which is your brain. You got to, great people, because the old model of go to school and get a job, work hard, save what we think is money. We'll just keep it simple. Save money and invest for the long term in a well-diversified portfolio of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs. That does not work anymore, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to share with you something that's going to be new to you, but it's always been here. But from the miseducation of going to school, it's designed to make you a person dependent on a government we see crashing by the day. If you're in the markets, you see that the world economy is crashing, but the rich get richer and the poor and middle class get hurt. And the reason for that is because of the knowledge that's been downloaded into the brain that allows one not to move forward in the new economy. So let's begin with this. Like I stated, you're going to have to want to invest in yourself. Don't you think that self-preservation should be, and it is, the first law of nature? You got to pour into yourself, great people. You got to pour into all that's new, and because if what you're doing is running with the old, all of the things that we're having going on in this world and in the world in your home, look, if you're breathing, where there's life, there's hope. You can make a change. So let's begin with this. You're an employee. The first thing you got to be doing and knocking down is taxes. Super important. You got to knock down taxes. That's your number one expense. You got to pay Uncle Sam, and he's not even related to you. Just think about that. You got to give money away to an individual, to a government that's not even related to you, Uncle Sam. So how do you knock down taxes? Well, the rich don't pay taxes. It's not because they're rich. I shared this within other information, one of my other videos. Majority, over 65% of wealthy people, rich people, came from a middle class household, or they even came from poverty. So it has nothing to do with them being rich. They were not inherited that wealth. They had to step outside the box. Understand that the tax game was made for the entrepreneur. In today's time, the infopreneur. Because you got individuals that are talking. They're talking a lot right here on social media. And guess what? They're getting paid cash flow. Because we're in a time where information is the new money. Be it foolish information or be it valuable information. And we're doing our best to bring value. So taxes is your number one expense. So you have to minimize the taxes in your life. There's no other way, if you are an employee, to start bringing back money, even if you don't have a business, even if you're not having cash flow coming in from assets that you've developed or assets that you've built up. You got to minimize the taxes. And I'm going to share with you how simple it is. Not easy, because we're going to be battling that person in the mirror that I've said, look, I'm going to be repeating things. If you've heard some of my videos, I got to repeat things. Because you know that song, because that song was repeated over and over as you drive to work in your car. turning it up loud, bopping your head, with all due respect, not knocking you. But you know the song, so you got to know this information, because if you want to make a change in your life, if you want to secure your future, if you want, and the future is now, if you want to actually survive and thrive in this recession, you're going to have to hear things over and over, and you're going to have to change and invest in yourself. So in order to actually bring and start to bring currency, money back into your household, you're going to have to reduce your taxes. And along with reducing your taxes, I know that most have a lot of debt. And we're not just talking about the debt of this country, which is, man, over 30, pushing close to $40 trillion. The United States is in debt, the most debted country in the world. But you and I are also in debt. So we got to get out of this debt, because debt is really a good thing. But we got two different types of debt, right? Debt that was created based on investing, and then debt that was created based on impressing. So which one makes sense? I got debt, or I use really, my credit, and the investing based on it being an asset is being paid back from either I'm a real estate investor, so my tenants are paying it back. I invested in land. I used my debt, my credit to get the land. So now I built some apple trees. I got some chickens. I got some cows. I got some real estate that I built in the land. And all these things are being paid back, because these are assets that people need: food and places to live. Or I got the debt, not putting you down. I'm just keeping it 100. You want transparency. You want someone to give you information that's going to be real with you, great people. We can't sugarcoat anything. This is not about selling you anything. This is about helping you get out of what you put yourself into based on the lack of knowledge, not having the discipline, and also based on the mindset to want to impress. So we want to get out of the mortgage debt. We want to get out of the school student loans, the government's largest asset, student loan debt, that has taught us nothing about money at all. It's teaching you about getting a job, and we look at jobs today. And if you're blessed to be working, which is a blessing, nothing wrong with jobs. It's a noble thing to have. But if I'm working to just pay off debt, and if I want to enjoy my life, I'm using more debt to travel, where is the life, the freedom, or the American dream? Where does that fit in? So we want to get out of this negative debt of car loans, student loan debt, mortgage, credit cards. But you got to have a plan in place. You got to have people that will support you and do the work for you as you do your part with submitting the information, showing others, how they can help you solve the number one economy, which is the economy in your home. So we got to get out of this negative debt, ladies and gentlemen. And there's a plan for it. But are you willing to submit to a simple plan? And basically, you're already involved in all of that I'm going to share, but it's just that you're on one side. Like Mr. Robert Kiyosaki states in the cash flow quadrant, the E and the S side. This is where most people stand. What is E and S? It just stands for employee and small business. Because even though you own a business, sometimes with a small business, and we need our small business owners, I'm grateful for you. I love to go get me some good fish. I love to go to a nice boutique and get some nice clothes or something to wear. So never putting you down, but there's just some things that we're missing. So understanding that if I own a small business, I really own a job, because I have to open and close, because I don't really trust people. I got to pay for this overhead. I got to pay for the gas, the electric, based on what type of small business I have. I got to pay for employees. I got to pay for the equipment there. The employee, number one expense is taxes. I'm using my time to make money. And in today's time, when you have high inflation, and I know inflation may not be that bad, but those same eggs aren't costing you what they cost you 5 years ago. That so-called gallon of milk is not costing you what it cost back in the day. So these are the things that we have to work on, ladies and gentlemen. We have to understand that me working for cash, me trying to save cash, and an economy where cash is really the problem, because I haven't been taught not to work for cash, but to make cash work for me. It's just like chasing a cat. If I go down and chase a cat, the cat's going to run, and this is what's happening to us. Our finances are running from us, so we have this major debt, and we're just working to pay the debt to maintain the lifestyle of that beautiful home and that beautiful car. But this is not the way the rich and the wealthy operate. And remember, wealth and richness is what? Mindset. Because rich is money, wealth is time. So these are the things that we want to change because we want to get out of this negative debt. But once again, we need a blueprint and a team of individuals to help us knock this thing down. You could do it on your own, but doing it on your own is just like playing a game on your own. You could be a professional basketball player, but there's no professional basketball player, soccer player, baseball player, football player that has gone to the championship or even got to the playoffs by themselves. They had a supporting cast to get them to the next level where they all hold the trophy. How does that sound to you? Now, along with getting out of this debt, this negative debt, and learning how to just reverse that debt and make things happen where I can now use my credit to invest. How about getting your bills reduced? Because we see that electricity bills in some areas are going up. People aren't understanding this. Gas could be going up in your area. You know, you're paying for cable and internet, which are things, you know, you don't need the cable, but the internet is a good thing to have because you can stream whatever you want to watch. Or if you're a business owner like myself, you're doing business from home and you're using your internet. But these things are costing you more. So you want to be able to negotiate these bills and get these bills down because this is going to allow you to actually secure a better future because now you're minimizing and bringing things back home, bringing cash back home. Okay? Because you're minimizing your bills. But I know that you may say, well, Demi, how can I negotiate? Well, don't worry about that. Remember, teamwork is dream work, and that's real. So as we talked about taxes, as we talked about debt, now we're talking about reducing the bills. Just think about that. If you are able to reduce taxes and reduce debt and reduce the bills in your home, the roof that you live in, just imagine how much cash that could be coming back into your household to do meaningful and valuable things with. This is important because as we look at things that are taking place, this is major. These things taking place like this particular article here. The hires rate is low and sliding. Gross hiring as percentage of employment January 2018 to February 2025. See, recessions don't just hit you. It's a snowball effect. It keeps rolling and rolling until it can't roll anymore and it just comes to a brick wall. So we need to understand that the job market isn't like it used to be. So by things not being like they used to be and you can get a raise at the job, and look, we got some people who have good high paying jobs, but they got a lot of debt with those high paying jobs. So we must understand that we need to be reducing as much as possible that we give away so we could bring things back in place. Because when we look at the recession, okay, and what to watch for and how to prepare for these things, we must understand, great people, that one key factor in the recession, that there's always going to be an upside to it. And this is the side that you want to get on. You want to get on the upside. And the key thing, like I mentioned, was when we look at thriving, not just surviving, we want to be able to pay off everything. So in this briefing right here with this article, when times are good, debt is generally an acceptable answer. Just reading briefly from this article. The rates of returns that a person can make from their business or financial investments will usually be greater than the rate at which they have borrowed money. And so there is something of an arbitrage going on. In a bust, this concept gets turned on its head. The financial markets will quickly become some unhappy combination of fickle and volatile. This means that it can be difficult to generate returns that are greater than the rate of borrowing without taking excessive risk. So these are things that we need to understand, great people, because financial education is a must. We must understand that things are turning around. You can't continue to hand your money over to people who are selling products to you. So what do I mean by that? You're putting your trust in financial advisors. This market is volatile. Oh, the market is going to go back up. But remember, what goes up must come down. So you have to be in control. But you want to have a team of people, I can't say that enough, that are helping you. Take control. Don't you want to be in control of your own money? How can you retire with the dollar losing value? You retire with a certain amount in your 401k. It's not going to stay that. Then you got to end up going back to work. That amount is not going to stay there. How many people have lost their money in the 401k? So I jump into the 401k because this is you being in a basket of stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs, not understanding these things because of the lack of financial education. Understanding these simple things, or wanting to understand, wanting to learn more, will put you in a great position to do super good, super well. I mean, even in a down economy. Because remember, the majority of us, we have no choice. We're consumers. So this goes back into the pocket of the wealthy, those who own the product. And when we hear the word tariff, I want to apologize because I gave misinformation on what a tariff is as I'm learning. This really doesn't affect us. It really affects the manufacturers. So I'm not saying ignore this, because inflation will get worse. The debt of our country will get worse. Things that are escalating over in other countries affect us, especially when there are certain assets in other countries that will go up, such as oil. We do not want to underestimate or ignore what's happening, because these things affect us. Because, well, remember, the number one economy is the economy in your home. So we must pay attention to what's happening. Now, another key thing that's going on, taxes. We talked about that. I'm just recapping. We talked about the debt. We mentioned reducing bills. People may have never known that they can get their bills reduced. Now, let's talk about cash flow. Because, see, this is how the wealthy operate. They want cash flow. They don't save cash. When you save cash, it makes you poor. My question to you, what bank has paid you? Back in 1975, we got 15% interest on cash being parked in the bank, because the gold standard was in 1971. But look, we came off the gold standard during that time, but it was a gradual taking off. You still got 75% in 1975 for holding cash in the bank. So that was good. If you were a millionaire, you literally got $150,000 parking cash in a bank. Does that exist today? Not at all. So you want to find a way to bring in cash flow. And I share with you some ways to bring in cash flow by you just having a job, not even being a business owner, because you're reducing your taxes. But there's some simple steps you got to take for that. Simple. All right. Legally reducing taxes. Getting out of debt. That's bringing cash flow back into your home, because you're working now. You're able to move this cash into other things. Reducing bills. Now, I mean, even if it was $25, $50, $100, you reduce bills, $200. You're reducing. That's back. Now you just need to know what to do with the cash. Okay? But cash flow can come in through your life insurance policy. What type of life insurance policy do you have? Well, we have a simple process of having life insurance, and it's all based on having what we call a DCA, diversified cash flow account. Whereas now, you don't have to die to benefit from life insurance. You could be having cash away from your death benefit going into now you being your own banker. This is now allowing you to compound out of the stock market, putting cash away, and it's compounding every month. And now you can take from that legally, and you don't even have to repay it. But if you do repay it, it's just going back towards your death benefit. And this is a great thing on the side, because the banks, like I stated, are not paying you at all. You're getting no interest on it. And if it is any interest, there may be some online banks that give you 4 point something. So I take that back. You can do that. But still, you want to be in control and have things out of the stock market. So having a DCA, diversified cash flow account, there are other names for these type of whole life policy insurance, you can have that, and this will allow you with different companies, but we're working with certain companies. We have the professionals do this for you, set you up for a consultation so you can ask questions. The first sign of intelligence is to ask questions. But this is a way to bring cash flow back in. I mean, now you're seeing like, whoa, all these things I did not know, now I'm learning, and I can basically start to thrive in this recession and secure it a lot better for myself and my family. So moving forward, the next thing that's going to help you, and you really have to have this when it comes to reducing your taxes, you got to become a business owner. But don't open up that new store. You can actually be a business owner just like myself right in my studio, right at home, because now I'm writing off the square footage of this area that I'm in the home. I'm writing off the cable. You see what I'm saying? I'm writing off everything that comes into this home from the cell phone. I'm writing off everything from gas. I'm writing off a meeting I had at Starbucks or at the vegetarian place I went to. You understand? So now I'm writing there more things that you can be writing off, but you got to be a business owner. This is going to really step up the cash flow for you. But don't think like that. You got to understand that having a home-based business is vital. And having a home-based business in the system that we're using also puts you in a good position, and I'm going to touch on that when we get back from this short break. But also being a business owner, having an EIN number and a registered business, which is a super simple process that can be done in under 10 minutes, okay? You can now put yourself in position to have more capital, okay, given to you because you're a business owner. Now, this capital in our program allows the business owner, has the brick and mortar, to have more funds, and also the person just getting started, but you got to be rocking with us. So I'm going to touch back based on that subject after this short infomercial break. We'll be right back.
In a world where financial freedom seems like a distant dream, one company dares to rewrite the rules. Are you tired of the traditional slow path to wealth? Struggling to make ends meet? Introducing Make Wealth Real, the first lifestyle and legacy company of its kind. MWR has created its own industry, offering a cutting-edge opportunity with a revolutionary compensation plan. For the first time in history, one company can now provide you with everything you need to make more money, keep more of the money you make, and make your money work for you. Our experts do all the financial work for you, eliminating debt, reducing taxes, lowering your monthly bills, raising your credit scores, and more. We also implement the best strategies to save, grow, and protect your money tax-free with no risk of loss. But that's not all. MWR is the only opportunity that guarantees your success. If we can't save or make you more money than the cost of our membership in 30 days, you get your money back. Earn thousands in weekly lifestyle bonuses, up to $15,000 per day in luxury residual income. And for the first time in history, earn income-generating assets just by referring others. With MWR's exclusive precious metals platform, your wealth grows even while you sleep. Store your precious metals in our partner company's licensed and insured depository and earn monthly profits through lease agreements. This opportunity has never been available to the public before. It's exclusive to MWR. Build your business once and enjoy a passive stream of income for generations. Even if your referrals quit, you keep earning. That's the MWR difference. This isn't just an opportunity. It's a revolution in wealth creation. MWR provides you with everything you need to live the lifestyle you desire now, while leaving a legacy your family will cherish. Imagine financial freedom, time with loved ones, and the peace of mind that comes with true wealth. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Your future self will thank you. Make wealth real, where lifestyle and legacy connect. Schedule your lifestyle and legacy conversation today. Your financial freedom awaits.
Super excited to be back with you. Now, business owners, the one who started the home-based business or the one who has the brick and mortar. More business owners are looking for funding. Now, if you have a system in place with a blueprint that you can go by, which is an option, you can get funding. There's funding out there for you. And we made this process super simple where you can schedule a consultation and get funding for your business. And being part of our system, our program, you're actually able to get that funding. No credit check. This is all on your EIN. There's no turning you down. You're ready to get the funding and put it to work. We share with you the blueprint we have, but you can do as you want. You have a business already. You can use it for whatever equipment you may need or marketing, or use the blueprint that we have in place where you're able to now get that funding paid off using the system that we have. So I don't want to spoil it talking about it here, but any information, please read the description below where you can actually get my phone number, reach out to me, text me, and we can schedule a time to talk. And I'll show you how you can put yourself in place to get 50K plus of funding here moving forward in the new economy. So this is important because people need more money, but they need a blueprint, a plan, and guidance so we can get out of the situations that we put ourselves into. So, by us putting ourselves into this situation, we understand that the wealthy operate off creating cash flow through building assets. So it's important that you consider, well, I'm going to be honest with you, you really have no choice if you want to thrive. You have no choice. We already briefed on the job markets. You have no choice but to be a business owner. But it's simple. Like I stated, super simple. You can do it from home. Smartphone, internet, community will put you in a good position to create the cash flow, but you got to be a business owner, great people. Now, protection. How do I protect my wealth? How do I protect my hard-earned? I've been working 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, man. How do I protect myself? Well, you got to have the right assets. You got to have the assets that inflation pushes up. You can't be completely into the market. You can't have all eggs in one basket. I know you've heard that before. You probably heard it from me before if you've been plugging in. But great people, you got to be out of this market. There is no way that you're going to be protected in this market unless you're a professional. And many people don't have the patience to become a professional day trader. I'm in the markets every day. And I'm not bragging. I'm still learning. Guess what? I have a practice account where I can learn. But today I was in the markets. I made my goal. Okay, my goal is to do 200 a day or more. How long did it take me to make the $200 in the market trading futures? It literally, with my live account, it literally took me under 30 minutes. I think maybe about 15 minutes. But I looked at the market and I see what's happening. S&P 500, NAS 100, US 30, all down. But what was going up? Gold. So your protection lies in assets that protect you. People think that gold is a rich man's game. No, and I'm talking about physical. Now, on the digital side, you can look at investing in gold mining companies, but you want guidance with that. You can look at companies. You really do it on your own with nice artificial intelligence such as Claude or ChatGPT. You can ask them to pretend, well, not pretend, but you got to ask AI correctly. You ask them, I'm giving you a hint here. Well, not a hint. Here's some information. You want to go ask ChatGPT, well, I want to, invest in some stocks. I want to invest because I've been listening to a Rich Education, Demi Sanya. I want to invest in a gold mining stock because you got to dig the gold out. So there is good companies out there that are digging for gold, and you can invest in that company, studying the CEO, studying the business model. And it could be a good look, but you can ask ChatGPT to guide you and give you maybe 10 companies that you can choose from and do your investigation. So if you're that person, you can invest on your own, okay? But you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, that if all of your eggs are in one basket, and that's the basket called Wall Street, in your diversified portfolio, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, it's not going to work. I know that your financial advisor or whoever, they're telling you it's okay, the market's going to go back up. And yes, the market is like a wave. It's up and down, but you have to be a professional to make money when it's down, to make money when it's going up, to make money when it's consolidating, to make choices when to get back in. Ladies and gentlemen, most people, with all due respect, are not going to do that. So in that case, you want physical gold, physical silver in your possession. You can't afford it. Never say you can't do anything. Where there's a will, there's a way, and where there's life, there's hope. This is your only way financially to protect yourself. I've mentioned before, cryptocurrency, also a part of a diversified portfolio where you can learn to acquire many different cryptocurrencies. The mom and pop of that industry is Bitcoin and Ethereum. And there are other ones that follow behind it that are good. But you got to learn about these things, ladies and gentlemen. You want your protection. You want something that's going to hedge against inflation. So with that being said, it's just a great time for those who open up to information. If you stay in the same place and looking for better results, that's considered to be insanity. If you're staying right there and hoping, hope is not a strategy. You got to be making a change. But I offer to you a community. I offer to you a solid blueprint, a solid blueprint, a solid blueprint. I can't say that enough. That's winning. That people are champions are winning. The testimonies are out. Look at all these amazing people that's been winning here. I mean, taking advantage of opportunity, changing their life, traveling the world, getting out of debt, acquiring assets, taking care of their families. These are the individuals who are your example that you can be part of what we call the extra digit movement, leveraging a platform called MWR, which just means make wealth real. And this is why a Rich Education partnered. Because it actually took a lot of pressure. Well, I won't say pressure because I love helping people, but it took a lot off me because all I do is bring you to the information, get your questions answered, plug you into the system, and support you. because from there, it's on you. The first sign of intelligence is to ask questions. So when I say it's on you to open up your mouth and talk to the team of people that's there to support you and take care of all of your needs as you list them down, upload certain documents to your back office. Make Wealth Real is going to get to work for you. So with that being said, I want to thank everyone for just joining me on this brief time. It's been an honor to sit here and share with you how to thrive in a recession and have a more secure future, because the future is now. I've talked about other things that you need to be working on, but I began this with investing in yourself. So with that being said, I want you to take care, take heed, and remember, stay safe. Life is what you make it based on the information you receive, the information you rejected, and self-discipline. You all have a beautiful and safe day. Let's go into May winning, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you.